Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a daily tarot oracle reading, Tattle Tales from the Vector. This is a general or collective reading, so take what works for you, leave the rest. This is also a timely reading, meaning if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, what is going on in your life, if this has been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then? That could give you further clarity as to your situation now. All right, just gotta double check. I've been changing up my spreads a little bit, so I just want to make sure that you'll be able to see this by the end. All right, so we do have the Four of Pentacles representing the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck for the entire reading. So this is some sort of, sometimes can represent a bit of a shortfall. It says that you have a strong foundation for making money. This is talking about 3 levels of making money. And you have a strong foundation, but this is safe money. So you haven't enough for, you have enough to pay your bills, but not enough for your heart's desires or your crown and glory. And this person has his back to the city. So sometimes this can represent that for you to be able to move up in your amount of money you make, you might have to leave your comfort zone and even maybe change locations from where you live to a bigger center, that type of energy. This can also sometimes talk about having missed out on opportunities because of selling yourself short, not taking the opportunities when they come up because you're afraid of the risk. And of course, you want to be really careful with financial matters. But if an opportunity comes up to get to the next level, you need to sometimes not sell yourself short and take that. Do a lot of research, consult with experts, etc. But you need to sometimes take calculated risks, and I do emphasize calculated. The Pentacles do represent money because they're about health, wealth, and happiness in the third dimensional world. But, you know, there's more to that than just money. They actually, you know, you could have all the money in the world and still not have the lifestyle that you live. So the Pentacles actually represent lifestyle. And we do have the Three of Swords as the first card in the reading here, and this is talking about you know, it's a disturbing card when you look at it. There's 3 swords in this heart, but when you look at it again, you realize, wait a minute, that heart is quite big in comparison to the swords. So maybe there's some hope here. These might be more like nails rather than swords. And so this energy, the heart is in the throat. Sometimes that represents someone who's afraid to speak their truth, or harsh words have been said. This could represent needing an apology, needing forgiveness to be able to rectify a situation. This sometimes represents gossip, slander, that type of energy. And in matters of romance, it can quite often represent the energy of a third-party energy dividing a couple. All right, and then we have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands energy represents someone who is standing at the top of the turret of their castle, surveying their domain. They've been very successful. They're like, I have the world in my hands. But then they have to admit that their domain is a small village with only 5,000 people. So they know that they're a big fish in a little pond. And if they really want to succeed at the level that they want to expand their horizons. That could be talking about crossing the water, can represent sometimes even going global with energy. I always think this reminds me of entrepreneur energy, where someone hasn't been very successful where they're at, but they want to maybe build another location or locations, or add some sort of element. This sometimes can represent something that's gone viral, and now you need to, expand to be able to facilitate it. In matters of in love, etc., it can also talk about wanting to expand into a position maybe where you want to add someone and maybe create a family energy. Perhaps you've met someone and you're thinking, maybe I should settle down and start a family. That can also be expansion of that kind. The element is fire and wood. These wands are made of wood and they feed the fire. And it's also talking about from a tree, you know, the deep roots of ancestors and the offshoots represent the branches of descendants. It feels like you're very busy, you're multitasking a lot with all of this going on. And there's an energy here. Multitasking can be a really good skill to have, but you have to be careful that you're not being busy just for the sake of being busy. You notice like in the background, these waves, they get gradually bigger and the ships get bigger. That's representing sometimes being busy can just create momentum to be more busy instead of actually getting to a point where, you know, you're not juggling your time anymore. This quite often, the pentacle energy, you know, this can be talking about juggling lifestyle. It can be talking about, you know, perhaps you have 2 jobs, or you might have, you know, your home life and your business life, and also perhaps maybe you're going to school and you're paying for it by going to work. It's that type of energy. Basically, this card is saying be careful that you're not multitasking to the point where you have more quantity than quality work, because then you're just caught in the loop and you're doing things twice. And also juggle your options, but never juggle your morals. And we have the Tower coming in. So the Tower is representing a reality check. This is saying that lightning has struck the Tower now. So something has happened here. And it might have to do with this and being busy and maybe not paying attention to how significant maybe whatever was bothering you is. And this card can sometimes, the Tower talks about not listening to your intuition. The universe will talk to us in synchronicity and whispering at first, you know, you might want to take a look at that, and we don't hear it. So then the universe has to get louder, and it's the frying pan whack over the head, and it's like, ouch. But you don't do anything about it. So the universe is like, oh, and then the 2x4 comes out and you still don't do anything about it. And then lightning hits the Tower. And by the time it gets to this point where there's a reality check like this, it's talking about, you know, these 2 people are now falling out of the Tower. The Tower is on fire. The castle's going to have to be rebuilt. You know, it's a big explosion that you could have possibly averted from getting to this level. But now this reality check, now you have to do something about it. If you don't do something about a problem like this in the earlier stages, eventually the universe will make the choice for you. Anytime you're standing at the top of a pedestal, there's only one way down, or one way, and that is down. You know, you're at the top already of where you're at, and the universe likes action. So sometimes we'll get shaken up like that to cause us to take action. The King of Wands energy is one of 4 kings in the Minor Arcana, and he is sitting on his throne, holding he's representing the element of fire as well. And so he has a lot of passion, and this is a visionary, someone that likes to tackle new projects and adventurous. He's considered to be very sexy and very charming. And so he's the kind of guy you wouldn't kick out of bed for eating crackers. People will forgive him for almost anything because he is a lot of fun to be with, and he's always optimistic, that type of energy, you know, and a forward thinker. And so on the back of his throne here, we have like these salamanders in a circle with a lion, and this energy represents protection from fire. And I couldn't help but notice a while back that, hey, it looks like there's a face on here, and there's 2 eyes, and there's a mustache with smoke coming out of it and the mouth. And this could just mean like he's smoking hot, but it also could mean where there's smoke, there's fire. The thing you need to remember about the King of Wands energy is, of all the kings, he's the least likely to settle down. And so when he settles down, it's usually later in life, because he has so many options, and his forward thinking sort of bleeds into his love of new adventure and new projects, sometimes bleeds into his romantic life. And then we do have here the Five of Cups. And Five of Cups energy is talking about some sort of disappointment in love. And quite often the 3 cups spilled here, we have 2 with wine and we have 1 with some other liquid. And so this can be talking about this liquid poisoned the relationship because it was a third party energy. So someone may have stepped out of the couple relationship, and I feel like that's what the problem is. And like this energy has a tendency to, in their younger years, they have a tendency not to have a roving eye, you know. And so kind of a player energy. And this, when it comes to matters of romance. And so there's the 2 cups behind here, and this is saying there's 2 cups standing. This person could stand here for the rest of their life, basically, and be staring at these cups and the loss. And this loss is not recoverable. If you've ever heard the saying, don't cry over spilt milk, this energy is talking about that kind of energy. The loss is here. You're not going to be able to recover it. You may as well turn around, pick up these 2 cups here, walk down the path here, cross over the bridge over troubled waters, and you know, go heal at your castle. Now the castle in the background here is half full, like half dilapidated, and half standing. And this energy can represent, you know, is your glass half full or is it half empty? What is your attitude? All right, we have the Queen of Pentacles energy, and this is talking about the Queen of Pentacles is well known for being very resourceful. She's one of the 4 queens, and she represents this energy of a good lifestyle and the Pentacle energy. She's known for being able to make something out of nothing, being very resourceful. She prefers quality over quantity. She's not into like you know, a lot of designer this or that, or trying to impress other people with her money. She comes from generational wealth generally, and this kind of energy is like old money energy, is much more conservative. And so she doesn't feel like she has anything to prove to anyone. She just she enjoys having a good lifestyle, and doesn't do it for anyone but herself and her family, basically. And we have the 3 of Cups, and the 3 of Cups energy, yeah, it's sitting on this, you know, this reality check, this explosion, if you look at the anatomy here, with the King of Wands. And so this energy, a lot of readers read this as a celebration, but I feel like this is a celebration of something that's happened, not of each other. You notice here this third-party energy in matters of love, like, because the cups represent love, and quite often romantic love. And if this is romantic love, why is there 3 cups here? And so quite often this can represent gossip and slander, just like this card, and maybe one of these people could even be the third-party energy. And maybe they're like happy that this tower hit, because now the King of Wands maybe has to make a choice, or and maybe the Queen of Pentacles is actually his partner, and he can't, like, she's left, like, or that type of energy. She doesn't want to, something's happened, some heartbreaking decision has been made. So, and this could represent, you know, this expansion here could have represented, and juggling morals. There's a lot of energy, like saying that there probably was a third-party energy, and it may have actually ended a marriage, but the third-party energy is happy about it. In many cultures, if you toast someone and you don't, in Europe in particular, if you don't look people in the eye, there's a superstition that it causes 7 years bad luck in your romantic love life. And so they'll be like, well, look me in the eye, because it's for both of you. So if you don't look someone in the eye, they have bad luck, and so do you. So this is talking about that superstition. I feel like there's definitely been some sort of juggling of morals, heartbreaking decision made, and it could be the end of a relationship here, which would understandably then be like why there's a shortfall of money here, if you had to divide your assets in half, that type of energy. And we have the transition. There's a major transition coming through here. Death is representing, very rarely, people can panic when they see this card, but the death card can actually be an indication that just it's a cycle coming to an end, and it's now something else being rebirthed. So this can be talking about the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. If it's in a hardship energy like this energy, it can be talking about that is now coming over, like the transition is being made. There's light at the end of the tunnel, there's shift happening. And even this person here, this older person, is trying to barter with the Grim Reaper here to say, like, we don't want your change. Can we give you money? Can I give you this? Can I give you that? Just turn around and don't come into town. But the young ones here are offering a flower because they don't have, there's nothing guilty in them. They're innocent. So, and we do have a king that's been trampled here, and that energy is not actually the real live king. This is representing, energy of like systems that are cracking at the seams, basically, and they're falling apart and they need to change. And it might be things that you thought would never change. Quite, in your own personal life, it could be something as simple as like you've always had this hobby and you've always loved this. To do this, and everybody knows that, and one day you wake up and you just don't feel like doing it anymore, and you tell everybody, oh, I'm not doing that anymore, and they're like, what? You've always loved to do that. How can you say that? And it's like, no, I don't know. I woke up and I don't want to do it anymore. It's that kind of energy. And again, we have the sun shining in the background, and this is talking about staying on your path of glory. So that, and it's sitting again on this juggling of morals, moraling of juggles. And so this is talking definitely that there's light at the end of the tunnel, and that basically this is saying that you deserve to have, this is ultimate fulfillment. This is, like having the companionship from someone that you love, and you love them and they love you. And if you want children, you have these beautiful children, 2.5. Oh, that's a kite. Oh, that's not a kite. Is it a kite? But so this is, the children are dancing, they're happy. You're in a neighborhood you love to be in, you love your career, you love your clients. It's that kind of energy. So this is talking about ultimate fulfillment in a perfectly imperfect world. This is talking about the promise of that. You have to make this transition, and this is the new energy that's being promised coming your way. If you stay in your integrity, etc., and stay on your destined path, and look at, then the world changes. So definitely this is saying you need to stay on, like that you've done the inner work. I do feel this is the Queen of Pentacles energy, because they're the two figures that we have, and the King of Wands would be the most likely to have been in this energy, and he follows it right here. You have to remember these are archetypes, so the king could be a woman in her masculine energy, and the queen could be a male in his feminine energy. So it just depends. But the world card is card number 21 in the major arcana, and it's saying the Fool starts off at the 0 point, and when this card shows up, whenever it does, it's talking about you've learned everything that you can from this basically this cycle, and it's now time for this cycle to end and a brand new one to begin. And this is basically saying that you maybe thought this is what you had because of this energy here, and then this energy came in, and that's when you realize. Now it could be that the queen, we don't want to accuse the king just because that's a tendency that people think of, but so it could be, the king, but I feel like this definitely is some sort of a couple, and there is this third party energy involved. This transition of, so this could represent a heartbreaking decision has to be made, but we don't know. We know it's the end of a cycle. So if they were married, it could represent like the end of a marriage, that type of energy, and the end of being in this energy with this person that you thought that you were in. And then we have temperance. So this is talking about the earth angel energy, and there's been quite a major shift, I feel, in just in the spiritual realm. It's kind of like the earth angels, the star energy. I feel like there's some sort of shift coming in, and I do feel it has to do with Uranus. And Uranus moved into the sign of Gemini, and it's going to be there for about 7 to 8 years. And the bottom line is, I mean, you can look on my other readings. I do have a playlist with full moon and new moon readings, and also beginning, middle, and end of the month. And this was towards the end of March, beginning, or the end of April, the beginning of May type energy. That Uranus is moved into the sign of Gemini, and this energy is causing basically the truth to come out. And it seems every day, they're like, if you look online, like I was like, oh, okay, there is like, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot happening in United States, and then boom, I look and it's saying, oh, that they're starting to bomb Iran again. And I'm like, what the heck? I thought that they had, like everything was quiet there. And then now there's another major uproar in the political scape in Canada. And it's that type of energy that we're dealing with. And I feel like on the spiritual realm, even the angels are fed up with the energy. It's kind of with all the files that came out and everything, with all the cracks in the system, with all the people, like grown adults behaving like children. Like, how many chances do you expect to have before the shift hits the fan and your actions catch up with you? The truth will always come out eventually, and we're seeing that. We're seeing every day. And I do feel, because Uranus is in the sign of Gemini for the next 7 to 8 years, I have a feeling that we might be in for a lot of this. So you may as well enjoy it. I mean, if you're on the straight and narrow, the truth coming out is really beneficial. I mean, it's a blessing. I'm all for the truth coming out. And the more the truth comes out, the more that's being exposed, the less patience the earth angels have right now for dealing with grown-ass adults that are behaving like children. Like, how many warnings do you think you're going to get before you have to face your actions? And the longer it goes on, that people are manipulating systems and indifferent to people's suffering and all of that energy, being in a position where they are, basically taking the innocent and just abusing their power with that energy. There's no, eventually this energy has to stop. It's like, it's just not in alignment. And so the temperance energy in the Bible, it says there's 144,000 angels that God sends down to earth. And this is like, I guess what you would refer to as hybrid human angel energy. Some people who have high spiritual vibration. And this is talking about, earth angel energy. And the right foot, she has her water in her foot in her right foot. Taking action to add her own energy into the universal pool, and then grounding that with her left foot, her creativity on earth. And look there's already beautiful flowers growing here. And we have the path of glory here and staying on that path. And this is saying, like, if you're, if the angels are starting to lose patience, then we know it's bad. And that, like, the truth is coming out. And every day, I feel we're just going to have another truth exposed. And this is, of course, whatever is happening at the top of the pyramid is going to affect everybody below. And everybody below is affecting what's at the top. It's just, it's as above, so below. So this is talking about, the justice comes in on this spiritual realm and comes down to earth. And this is what we're seeing every day. There's situations where we thought, oh, they'll never get, like, no one's ever going to do anything about it. And even if they don't do things about it the way that you would think they would, it comes out that there's justice in the end. People are getting caught up in their shift. And, this is the energy that we're dealing with on the planet right now. And it's pretty intense energy. We do have, you know, now is not a good time to have a closed mind. This energy here is talking about someone who can only see things being done this way or that way, my way or the highway quite often. And we do have a new moon coming up on May 16th, so that's in about 8 days from now. And this energy is like a week. And this energy is talking about, you know, with the energy, with the truth coming out and everything happening, you don't want to have a blindfold on and say, no, I want things to be the same as they have been. There's a lot of change happening on the planet right now, in the universe, on the spiritual and the physical realm. And we're really, like, it's challenging for us on the planet here right now. It's like hard to even keep up with this energy. And a lot of times people have a real fear of change. But when you really look at it, change is happening every second of every minute of every day. So it's nothing to be afraid of. It's just that we tend to hear about the changes that are negative, but there's a lot of good changes also happening. And so there's never only two ways to do anything. And the swords represent the energy of, you know, this decision making, your mental intelligence, your discipline of your mind. And these swords are actually thoughts, and thoughts are expressed through words and actions, you know, written and verbal. And this energy, these swords are double-edged. So they're saying you need to use your logic and your intuition to have creative solutions. There's never only two ways to do anything. And you can see how this is draining this person. The way that they have their feet turned out here in body language is saying that they're drained from the energy. They're losing focus. They're also feeling very vulnerable in protecting their heart. And we have the right arm holding the left arm back. And this would represent logic, and this would be intuition. And so it's like not not listening to your intuition, which then ends up in this energy here. And look at, that's the only sword energy we have. So it's about, you know, the new moon energy is when it's a really good time to seed, you know, to sow those seeds of change, and in a strong way. But that requires taking the blindfold off, using your third eye, your intuition, as well as your logic, not being afraid to look at whatever the issue is and really tackle it. And look at this, then we have doing exactly that, going inward. And, you know, this is changing the scenario significantly here. This decision to move forward, meditate, pray, ask God for assistance. It looks like this person's in a church and they've laid down their sword, which is saying that they want to rest their mind and feel with their heart, what is it that they want in life? Like, what is it, the next moves that they need to make to use, to come to creative solutions so that they can have this ultimate fulfillment and this love in their life. They're tired of being tired, that kind of energy. And so this can be talking about hanging the mind on the wall. You don't need it right now because you're feeling, and you have to be able to feel with your heart, you have to quiet your mind. And that the best way to do that is through meditation and prayer. And this can represent your subconscious mind, which is, you know, is developed when you're young, like when you're a baby up to around 5, 6, 7 years of age. And if you think back, you don't really remember very much about under the age of kindergarten, but and especially not when you're a baby. But when you're a baby, in particular, that first year, think of all that a baby learns in that first year. And so they absorb their environment like a sponge. And so this energy is heavily imprinted on us well into our adulthood. And when we tend to get stressed out, the subconscious mind is the one that we rely on. It's the first one that pops up. Oh, I know, I'll do this. And it's really not our own thoughts. It's the thoughts of the people and the values of the people that were in charge of our care when we were very young. We don't have any memory of it. They have to tell us, oh, you were like this, you were like that. So it's not the most reliable mind for when you're an adult to go back to your subconscious mind. And then we have the unconscious mind, which is from the perspective of your spiritual side and from your soul. And a lot of people recognize I'm a human being with a soul. But from the soul's perspective, you're a soul traveling in a human body, and that's your vehicle for navigating earthly matters. And this is like a university for the soul, and so it's about being able to have your needs met as well. And if your needs aren't met, your soul's needs aren't met, then the unconscious mind can be arguing with the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. Your conscious mind is talking about like what like for sure, like you remember it, you're conscious of it. Like, I went for groceries yesterday, I purchased 3 items, this is what it cost, then I came home and I cooked a meal and this is what it was. And you could tell that to anyone and have the memory of it, and you're conscious of it. So when these 3 minds are not arguing with each other, and they're disciplined and they're working together, then you have control of your mind, and it means that your mind is working for you rather than against you. And then if you plug it into your heart, then you're going to actually have, be going after your authentic desires. So now this takes on a whole new context. All the tarot cards have this ability to be talking about, negative and positive energy, weak and strong, that type of energy. And so now if it's saying that you've quieted your mind and it's plugged into your heart's desires, now you're on this journey here. You're now in this place of having peace of mind and being plugged into your authentic desires, where you really want to go. So that's awesome energy. It requires a lot of healing. It requires a lot of dedication to being able to be in that energy. And on this stained glass window, there's the word Pax, P-A-X, and this is representing peace of mind. So that's a beautiful thing to have. And then look at this. Now there's a cup of love coming in. So the Knight of Cups is like the knight in shining armor that we all read about in romance novels and in the movies. Dressed to the nines, a class act, coming in with this beautiful offer that's a valid offer, like a real offer. And the Knight of Cups energy is representing, generally this will represent a romantic offer, like a proposal, or just maybe I want to go out on a date with you and get to know you better, and that type of energy. And so this is about communication, information coming in. And, in the old days, the only way that they had long-distance communication would be in person like this. But these days, you don't have to expect someone to, all of a sudden out of the blue, someone just knocks on your door. Hey, I want to offer you a cup of love, a total stranger. It's far more likely that the information will come in, by a phone call, a text message, maybe an email, possibly something in the mail, a card, maybe someone sends you flowers, that type of energy. Perhaps you're on social media, someone messages you and says, I would really like to get to know you better. Would you like to go out for supper? Or there's an event advertised and you attend that event, and next thing you know, you run into your knight in shining armor. And so this could be your energy. Or it could be and it's sitting right on the King of Wands. So as I said, let's not blame the King of Wands right away. The Queen of Wands, or the Queen of Pentacles is, could be also because the third party energy follows her. So take it how it resonates with you. And then, just walking away from a relationship, and it's sitting again on this energy here. Now, this is on the third party energy. So this is saying that there's 8 cups here, and there's 5 here, and they're in perfect order, and then all of a sudden there's these 2, and there's a gap in the third, and you see that's the couple and the third party energy causing a gap. And this is about walking away from a relationship, something. This could be representing 8 years, This is a lot of energy been put into this relationship. If this isn't about romance, this can represent walking away from something you love to do or love to be, walking away from a home you're at, or whatever this is. It is definitely saying, I'm done. And we have the energy of the full moon and the new moon, and this energy can represent also that eclipse energy that we had back at it was the 17th of February and the 1st of March. We had, or the 3rd of March, we had 2 eclipses. And so this energy, I describe it like potpourri, like simmering on the back burner of your stove. You know it's there, you can smell it, but it's not number one on your mind. It's in the background, but 6 months from the eclipse season, it lasts for about 6 months. So around mid-August. And you may notice if you look back then over like that, wow, I've made a whole lot of significant changes in my life. But you're so busy when you're in that energy that you don't notice it until after when you look back. So it could be that type of energy. Now we do have a King of Cups coming in offering a cup of love. Okay, so this is talking about someone walking away. So this could represent an energy of the King of Cups could be coming in. This could be the King of Wands energy in this energy. You know, it could represent this energy wanting to deliver this cup of love now with this energy after walking away from a previous relationship where there was this hardship. And perhaps it's even saying that this wasn't with the Queen of Pentacles, but with someone else, and now they're offering this love to the Queen of Pentacles energy. So it's hard to say. It would, you know, you would know if it's your decision. I feel like this energy does have something to do with the King of Wands, but perhaps it doesn't even have anything at all to do with the Queen of Pentacles, because this is just about walking away from a relationship. And then all of a sudden the Queen of Pentacles shows up. But we do have this third party energy, so in between. So I don't know quite what's going on, but someone is wanting to offer a cup of love after walking away from a relationship. So, offering a cup of love after like something you love to do or be. This sometimes can represent, this energy can represent, the King of Cups can be your paternal bloodline. And it sometimes can represent a brother, an uncle, that type of energy. So it could be a family member even, something to do with that. And the romantic love is separate. So let's see. That feels like that might be the case in this case. We do have the High Priestess energy. So it's saying use your intuition if you feel something is going on here. Someone's juggling morals or that type of energy in your family. Like, I hope that this isn't saying that there was someone from your family was involved in a third-party relationship, you know, and caused this problem. It could be. So the High Priestess is about joy because she uses her intuition. And again, you see the crescent moon here. Where it's talking about this new moon energy, again, sitting on this one card with the new moon. I feel some, like, in the, you know, the next new moon is on May the 16th, and that energy might be coming in here now. So pay attention to your intuition. She's sitting in between these two pillars, one of two extremes. One is light and one is dark. This one is actually very extreme because this is Jesus and this is the devil. The information in between here, information equals energy. And so this is talking about infinite potential. But she has to be able to sort through this, and because she does it with her intuition. So she uses her intuition and her logic to come to solid conclusions about what's going on. And that's what I feel like it's saying. Use your logic and your intuition to find there's something going on here. And it could even represent, like, on the other side, this third-party energy that broke up this relationship. Now they are, you know, they're maybe they're getting together, or they're walking, you know, they're walking away from each other. They don't want each other after all. It's, you know, interesting energy. Plus now we have the King of Pentacles. Now this came up in the Leo reading that I just did. There was the King of Cups and there was the King of Pentacles. Was it the King of Wands as well? No, it was the King of Swords. So we'll see what comes up here. Because in that card, in that reading, it did come up like that there was 3 kings working together, and it was juggling morals of some sort here. So let's just keep going. Because I just did that reading before this one, and maybe this is a continuation of that story. So the King of Pentacles would be someone that's really respected for their business acumen. This is someone that, has a really good lifestyle. People look up to them because, they're like a mentor, and a lot of people admire them because they've done very well. And this also can represent people who are in the banking industry. Like it would be someone higher up, like a manager of a bank at least, financial advisors, accountants, that type of energy. People that understand how to use money, wealth advisors, life insurance, that type of energy. Sometimes this can also represent real estate because of the element of earth. And so this could be land developers, real estate agents. If it's a real estate agent, it would be someone who's dealing with probably higher priced and maybe even commercial property. This could represent land developers, that type of energy. This could be the head of a head financial advisor of a large corporation, or even an entrepreneur that's doing really well. The king has grapes all over his robe, because in tarot, grapes represent a luxury item, and it's saying that the King of Pentacles lives a very luxurious lifestyle, and he's admired for his ability to be able to have make money out of luxury. Now, the Queen of Pentacles could be this could be a couple, and maybe there was some sort of energy between them breaking up, that type of energy. It could be like the King of Cups is offering a cup of love to the King of Pentacles. Maybe they're friends or something like that. Look at that. We have lovers here. Just when I said that. Maybe the King of Pentacles and the King of Cups are friends, but not anymore. That type of energy. And maybe the King of Wands is involved too. Who knows? Like, this is just so, there's so much energy here. There's so many different stories coming up in this. So we're just going to keep going here. We'll clarify it. The lovers is coming up, and so this is an energy. Okay, this is from this new lover energy coming in, is talking ordained by God, because that's what the sun is representing with the angel. And so this is someone that you haven't met before. Lovers coming together, or you've met them but you've never had a romantic relationship with them. And there's that energy coming in. And look at, we have the King of Cups and the King of Pentacles. We have the Queen of Pentacles here. And we have like a third-party energy that has caused, and it feels like it was on this energy and maybe between these. Oh, maybe the King of Wands was the third-party energy with the Queen of Pentacles. Look at that. And maybe now the King of Pentacles is now got a new lover. It's Peyton Place. Oh, look at, this is a soulmate energy. Interesting. So this could be the King of Pentacles was heartbroken because the Queen of Pentacles ran off with the King of Wands. That could happen. And now he has less money to boot because he had to divide his assets. Okay. And then this energy shifts. So maybe the King of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles take off together, and now the King of Pentacles, this is talking about his side of the story, and that this cup of love now, that the Queen of Pentacles has walked away now. Some time has passed possibly, and the King of Pentacles now is offering someone else a cup of love, and it's their soulmate energy. And so, sorry, King of Pentacles. I don't think this is a continuation, because that was the King of Swords, the King of Pentacles, and the King of, what was it? The King of Swords, the King of Pentacles, and the King of Cups. And that was definitely three people working together, in one instance for sure. So I feel like the King of Pentacles, I feel like that's what happened. I think the Queen of Pentacles went off with the King of Wands. That was the third party energy. But what's really wild here is this energy could represent that these people are related somehow, and that's why it's coming up like that. But the King of Pentacles now has a new lover that they just met coming into their life, and it feels like it's a soulmate energy. And look at the difference here. I just want to show you this. Look at the difference. You see this energy? This is how you are supposed to toast someone. Do you see the difference? Like, they care about each other. It's like an intimate moment. Whereas, and even between three people that are friends, generally, like, you'd be like, hey, and be talking to each other. And it's, yeah. So that's what the, this is the proper way, especially if you're in Europe, to toast someone. And this is representing a healing energy coming in. So yes, the King of Pentacles may have found their soulmate after the Queen of Pentacles walked away. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that King of Wands. All right, I'm going to clarify this. We're just like, okay, so a heartbreaking decision has to be made. It's the end of a cycle. It's required a lot of patience to stay on the destined path. The High Priestess energy is coming through and saying you need to use your intuition and your logic. And it is involving the King of Pentacles meeting his soulmate. This is a new lover coming in after, I feel, the Queen of Pentacles walked away for a different cup of love offer from the King of Wands, leaving the King of Pentacles really sad, with half the assets that he had before. But now he's met his soulmate, so it's changing again. Someone was definitely juggling morals. There was a third-party energy. There was a tower. It caused a major transition. Really, yeah, I feel that's the story in this one. All right, I'm going to clarify this for those of you who care. Like, you might want to know, like, this might be for reading for someone that's wondering what really happened here. And so this is one scenario for sure. I mean, there could be several here, but I feel like that is the most logical one. We have Justice coming out. This is my Oracle, Tales from the Vector. I'm working on it right now. I started it in 2007, and in 2020, I finished all 64 paintings. This energy, I am just now, these are the numbers of the paintings that they are in. There's 64 of them. These are the numbers of the paintings in my gallery on my website, talesfromthevector.com. And I'm working on bringing this out, but at first I want to play with the cards a little bit. So yeah, I'll put the information in the description box below. And this, I'll put the numbers as they come up, and you can check it out if you're interested. If by the end of this you still don't know, it's so interesting. Like, in the last, ever since Uranus moved into Gemini, there's been a lot of this energy coming out, the truth about relationships, like on a more personal level, but then also all this more energy on a more global, universal level also coming out at the same time. So justice, definitely, there's got to be some justice here. The High Priestess energy is talking about that I feel like going inward and getting the information, the truth will set you free. And I feel like that's when the King of Cups was able to make this shift into this energy, like, of moving forward again. And then we have the Chariot. So this is talking about it's already happening on the spiritual realm, this justice coming in. And it's moving forward, it's on its way, and that would make sense because this world card is sitting here. So the Magician, we're talking about an energetic upgrade in the energy on top of this. So when you have the truth and you understand what's happening, then you can make stronger choices. I feel like maybe the King of Pentacles was very busy at work making pentacles, and maybe a workaholic type of energy. It could be something like that. The Hangman energy is, the Hangman hangs from the tree of knowledge upside down to get a different perspective. And I feel like that's, you know, getting the balance so that you can come to the truth. And denial. Okay, this is why the Tower happened. There was some sort of energy here where, you know, the Tower hit because if this was the King of Pentacles, he was like not wanting to see the truth. And so what I don't know won't hurt me. And so this can represent an energy, it's a tactic we can use on ourselves or others where we deny, and maybe she was also denying that she had a lover, that type of energy. So it might have taken a while for the actual truth to come out. This is destruction. So for them, but like it's interesting because in the end it's progress, because there's no point in being in a relationship where this is happening. If, you know, it's, you know, if someone's sneaking around behind your back, that's not a situation that you want to be in. It would be different if maybe it was an open marriage or something and they had agreed on that. But there's, you know, that doesn't look like that's what happened here at all. And so the Scorpio energy is coming in. I just want to point out, when the horoscope signs come up in my general collective readings, I'm not talking about an individual, I'm talking about the energy. And this is the sexual gladiator, and so I feel like this there was a lot happening here. And there could be a lot, and I do feel like this could have involved family members on top of everything else. It just feels like it. And again, we have this energy of knowing that you know, words can elevate people or they can conquer, right? I feel that there's a lot of lies going on, like a lot of juggling of morals with a few people here. And there was people that knew about it and they were gossiping in that. But when I feel that actually this energy here of going inward is actually the King of Pentacles energy. That is what I feel is the most likely. This Scorpio energy, you know, you might be saying, Colette, no, like this was a Scorpio. That could be, but I'm telling you, that's just, I want you to be aware that my goal isn't to point out any individuals here. It's more about what can we learn from each of the signs. Every sign has its strengths and weaknesses. And then this energy is talking about Libra energy. So this is talking about being mature, like everybody's more mature. Like maybe this relationship was way back, you know, like someone, like a couple that got together when they were young, and they weren't mature enough to make a decision about being in marriage. This card's coming up quite a bit. Like the Libra is the scales of justice, but it's also talking about being at the stage in life, whenever that is. A lot of times that's around age 35 when people are more mature or more likely to be mature. Getting married and starting a family is a huge commitment, and a lot of us, you know, just go into it willy-nilly, and we're just like really not paying attention. So that type of energy. And then we have a lot of sacral chakra energy going on, a lot of manifesting going on that way. But this is talking now about this energy has manifested. The soulmate energy has come in from everything that that the King of Cups. I feel like the King of Cups is the most stable when it comes to emotions. And I feel like he was not feeling really stable, and now he's back into his regular energy and able to manifest you know, attract this lover that actually is someone that wants to be with him. Maybe this person married him, you know, because she wanted the money. Like, it could be that type of energy. Definitely very different energy. And like, you can see this right here, this Lover's card is on the King of Wands with this energy here. So I feel that's definitely, like, that clarified it. All right, I do hope you've enjoyed the this tattletale. And please give it a like and comment if you have it. It does empower me to build my channel, and I really appreciate it. Also, consider subscribing. I would be honored if you did so. Bye for now. Come, little kitty, I gotta wake you up now.